What's going on, guys? This is the Cloud9 podcast, season 3, episode 2. Sorry, this episode is coming out a bit later than most of you guys expect. I was just so busy this week, and like I said before, last week's episode on the Cloud9 podcast, I was actually going to be working this Wednesday, so I wasn't actually able to, have an episode on Wednesday because after I got off work Wednesday, I was just really, really tired. So I wasn't able to have enough strength to do an episode on that day. And I know this episode is coming out a bit later than the games that started with EU. So what we're gonna do for this episode is mostly just talk about NA because I could go over fucking TSM's issues all day, essentially. But yeah, this is mostly just gonna be like super NA focused. So
Yeah, there
what?
are like a few things I wanted to talk
Yeah.
about quickly with EU, but other than that, it's going to be NA. First, I'm just going to mention quickly after today. Mad Lions could make a comeback as their next opponents are Astralis and Team BDS. Vitality are facing Astralis though, and SK Gaming are and XL are facing XK Gaming as one
Mhm.
of their opponents for the last two though. So keep that in mind with the comeback. Um, and I was memeing about SK like doing it instead of Mad Lions, but they are still somehow alive. And Rogue should still take first place or at least play a tiebreaker as they face Team BDS unless they
Mhm.
lose to G2 Esports. Then Fnatic beats both their rivals.
Mhm.
Fnatic versus Misfits tomorrow should be a match of the week, and it's kind of a
Yeah, we
battle
had that
for
as one of
first
ours. Yeah, I
place.
remember.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a battle for first place, really. VTO honestly is starting to be kind of an MVP candidate.
Personally, to me, throughout the whole LEC 2022 spring split, it was Malrong.
But
But
he's fallen off.
yeah, the last
No,
the
it
last
isn't
game of
his
week
fault
seven.
though. It's because he goes in and the rest of his team
Yeah,
doesn't.
like if someone made the argument that Malrong is the MVP, I'd be like, yeah. But then, okay, so Malrong and VTO were the same to me, right? But then
Mm-hmm.
at the last day of week 7 for the LEC 2022 spring split, he started to fall off a little bit. Today's game, I watched it live. I was like, damn, what's going on with him?
I mean, I don't
And
think it's
then,
his fault though. Again, I think he goes in, but the rest of his team doesn't. It's just a
yeah.
communication issue there.
So, like, personally to me, it would be just, it's either Malrong or even Comp. Like, Comp started to fall off a few of these last few games too.
Yeah,
Maybe they're getting a
like
little complacent.
Trimby has actually played the best now, but he didn't play the
The
best in the
best when it,
first half.
yeah. That's the thing is,
So
like, if you could make arguments for Malrong and Comp, but VTO to me has just been the best throughout most of the entire spring split. The first few weeks, I was a little harsh on him
yeah,
because
like
I didn't really see a lot from
Misfits
him.
surprised to be here. I mean, I did predict there would be a B tier team and potentially
Mm-hmm.
be a shocker like this, like top
Mm-hmm.
three even. Like I was feeling it, but I mean, if we had to pick an MVP for that team for if being
Mm-hmm.
a shocker, I mean, like their jungler, I mean, has been great, but he's more of like a support jungler, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Here it has had off moments. Their bot lane isn't the greatest, so yeah, I mean, it has to be
Mm-hmm.
VTR, right?
Yeah, because there was someone on Misfits today on the
Mm-hmm.
broadcast where they were giving those like pre-game interviews, how they typed the fucking show up and shit, where he was
Yeah,
like, "Yeah, our bot lane goes kind of like unnoticed." Like, no, your bot lane sucks, dude. Like, I'm sorry, Neon has moments where he is good, but it's
I think
nothing
he's been good.
consistent.
I think he's really been good. I
He's
don't
just
know.
he's an all right player. That's the best thing to give him. He's not like a flashy player, and you don't always have
Like
to be a
I
flashy
agree
player.
with that, but I honestly I think he's upgraded from just being all right before to good. Like I agree, he isn't
Yeah,
anything
before he
special,
was
but
like all right in the way
I
where
think
he
he's
would just
good now.
feed.
He's a good unspecial player now.
Mm.
I think, but
Yeah, he's just an all right good player that's not going to
yeah.
lose you the game, but he has the upside to win you the game
Hmm.
too. So that's what I
And
like about him too.
yeah, and then the last thing I'm gonna mention about the EU stuff is that I just wanted to bring up the Misfits news from 2 days ago. They signed Magic Felix as a
Yeah.
multi-role substitute. We're not gonna read the article unless you want to,
Do you
but
want
yeah,
to? It's up to you.
I mean I don't really care either way, but I just had to mention that. I mean,
Hmm.
it's too bad, he has like I don't know what it is, stage frights or something, because I mean, yeah, he's great. He should be in LEC. He was fucking dominant on Astralis, just been dominant solo queue. He's like believe the first ever to reach like rank 1 on all 5 roles in Challenger. So yeah, he's gonna be a multi-role substitute. Good
Mhm.
pickup. I mean, honestly, I'd fucking take him over. I'll take him over like Neon or Mursa. Honestly,
And that's the thing with some of these like EU teams is we'll talk about the one G2 game later on. There's one EU game I have to bring up was that G2 throw against Misfits. Like
oh, that
if
was
they
legendary. We need to talk about that.
if
But
they
on the next
had
stream.
if they actually had won that game, they would have won the fastest game in EU history. This is spanning since like 2013. If they had won that game in like 17 minutes and 30 seconds, they would have won the fastest game in EU history. That's how dominant they were winning the game. They were that far ahead, and then they threw the game. You know,
Honestly, I think
like,
Yankos is mostly to blame because he was kind of feeding VTO in the first place, which made him get that, enough of a lead
yeah.
on a call Leighton and carry. Because that was the one win factor for Misfits if, VTO got it enough by that point to then make a comeback for them, which he did. So,
Mhm.
yeah, honestly, Yankos is kind of to blame there.
And
Yeah,
then you
we'll
had
definitely do that on the next stream, go over that.
And then you had fucking G2. Like everyone's been talking about what's really the issue with G2. So here, guys, I'll just give my base synopsis of
Just
some of these top tier
chemistry.
teams. So
Chemistry. It's
we'll start with G2, and then we'll go to the other one. So G2, it's chemistry. There's no actual clear leader. The players that they're expecting to be like the top players in the league, like Caps, Yankos, and Broken Blade, are very, very hit or miss. Like there's some games where you're looking at the Misfits game and you're going like, okay, this is really good. I can see where this is going. Even the bot lane, because what was the biggest issue with G2 coming into this LEC 2022 spring split was that people thought their bot lane was going to be a big issue because of the other star players you stack around them. The bot lane's not been a problem though. Honestly, I'm being honest here. The bot lane's not bad. They're doing fine. They're like a lot of the reasons why they're sometimes in the game mostly. I'm not saying that Flackett is like the best ADC or he's like on the level of comp, but he's not been bad. He's probably been like the
yeah.
sixth
Yeah,
best
I think it's
sixth best
just the
ADC.
chemistry, honestly. Just the
Mm-hmm.
team chemistry. All 5 players are doing the jobs. Just the chemistry. Like that's what I thought Rogue would be more like. Like
Mm-hmm.
all 5 players doing their jobs, just the chemistry's off. No, it's G2. And if their chemistry was as good
Mm-hmm.
as like the other teams and Caps didn't int some games, I mean again, I think they would be top 2. I would honestly think they could be the best. Like you can see it in their games. They have the potential to be the best with this
Yeah, because
roster.
like, dude, everyone in scrims is going like, this is the best team, and like from their stage games and how they've been, conjuring up leads, I could see them potentially doing really well. I can see it, but the issue here is like they're banking on Caps always doing well in the games. And to be fair, in that Misfits game, they were playing good. I'm saying that right now, they were
Yeah.
playing good. So that's the thing is
Mm-hmm.
they just have to kind of figure out, okay, if we have a lead and we're doing this right now, we need to all be on the same page. That's their issue. Because it feels like when they have a split pushing champion like Trinamir, Broken Blade's doing something, and then when they need him to TP, he doesn't do it instantly, which caused them to lose a fight. Or when they're going for a dragon fight, you have one guy kind of going in at a bad moment, or they're not zoning properly. These are little things they can work on. I think by summer, they're going to be at least a top 3 team, solidified top 3 team, maybe second place, give or take how summer split pans out, depending on how they play in playoffs. I think by summer, they're going to be a strong team. This is little
Yeah.
stuff they could iron out, and it could be a good team. You see it right now. This could be one of the best teams right now in
Yeah.
EU. The
But
bot lane,
anyways,
I think the bot lane could be a bit better, but overall, they're fine bot lane in general. Now, for Fnatic, because I know people want to talk about Fnatic. Okay, so Fnatic's issues, there's nothing really special about them. Like Hylissang has to inherently carry Fnatic through the early game with playing picks like Pyke, who's not even really that optimal. You know what I mean? Like picking Pyke isn't even really optimal, but Hylissang is their engaged support, their playmaker. A lot of their early game communication and a lot of their early game decision making goes through Hylissang. So without Hylissang, I don't know where Fnatic would be, honestly, because just even from the game of today I watched from Humanoid, oh my god, Humanoid has not looked good. And people heard me last week where they were like, how could you think that Perks has played better than Humanoid? Perks has played better than Humanoid, though, this split. Like, I don't think Humanoid's looked that good during the split, though. Just personally, to me, I don't think he's looked that good. I think the mid jungle duo between Fnatic has looked pretty shaky at certain times, like not being on the same page. I think Wonder still hasn't looked that good. The best part about Fnatic actually has been their bot lane. Overall, that's been their biggest strength and how they've been winning a lot of their games. And then their team fighting has looked pretty solid overall. Rogue, I just watched the game today against SK Gaming. They look like they were able to like understand. Okay, what's the best way I can really put it? If they don't dominate the early game for Rogue, they just kind of lose. Rogue are a version of 100 Thieves, essentially. You know, they're all just early game focused. If they get into a position where they're not ahead, just doesn't really feel like they know how to play the game, essentially. You know, that's kind of how I personally see it. It just comes to the fact of I think Malrong has started to underperform slightly. He
I
started to underperform
mean, I
slightly.
agree, but again, I don't think it's mainly his fault. I think it's just coordination. But
You also have Trimby and Comp. They've started to look. I'm trying to say this. They don't look bad guys, but like as dominant as they were, maybe they locked playoffs. They're just trying to take it a bit easy now that they've locked playoffs. That could be a thing too. I'm saying, but I have to call that out. They're playing bad. Like they're playing not as good as they started off the spring split. So those are Rogue's issues. Yeah, I just think that if they don't roll over the early game, they looked kind of suspect. They just look like 100 Thieves, essentially. They need to roll over the early game to win. They have a really good early game, and they've been trying to really get it perfected throughout most of their time in the LEC with different rosters of different players, essentially. That's what Rogue has been doing. And this is a split. This is the fourth split in a row with different players. They've gotten over 12 wins. So the coaching is fine. It's just all up to the players to put it into the game to really push it forward. I'll give a shout out to Vithio. He's the MVP of the LEC 2022 Spring Split. Or if you want to choose Malrong or Comp, I got no quarrels with that.
Yeah, I mean, still have 2 games to go, but for me, it's
he's
VTO.
Looked so it was Malrong for me. For guys, honestly, it was Malrong for me for most of the whole time. But Vithio, he's been just the best. What is up with this guy? Guys, last year he looked like trash. I'm telling you,
I disagree.
So bad.
I think he was serviceable.
He got counter picks in the draft phase, and then he was so. If he played bad to me personally.
Okay, but
he played really bad. But this year he turned it around, and I was like, that has to be one of the hugest turnarounds for a player. Like, if you go back and watch his last game, where he was playing Twisted Fate against LeBlanc, where he got the counter matchup with TF to impact the map, and he failed completely. Going from that game to what he's been playing like, so good. This guy has been the best. He's insane right now. Like, you can say he's the best mid in EU, essentially.
I mean, he's the best mid. I would agree, but...
Or you could say Larson is one of the best mids. To me, it's Vithio and Larson. To me, it'd be Vithio, Larson... I don't know who else you put there really, honestly.
I don't think Larson has been that impressive this year.
I thought he's been pretty solid overall. I thought he's having a great
job
split.
in lane, just in team fights and stuff. I don't think he's been as great as before as other years. But anyway, but for
Team Vitality,
yeah,
talk about them for a bit, just a little bit.
I mean, if you want, I'm just
a slightly bit. I'll just gladly over there
because I might need to join somebody else's stream, as I said, at like 5 or 5:30. Which
we're only gonna be going for like an hour, 10-minute, hour 15.
But I'll still be on here. I just might be then co-streaming, which might be difficult. So I want to try to get this quicker.
Okay,
but yeah, you can talk about them if you want. Yeah, because
there is some stuff. There's only 2 more teams. Yeah, after this is just gonna be just Mad Lions. So just Team Vitality, really quickly. Team Vitality. They're just all over the place, man. Karzi and Lebrov have been like one of the worst bot lanes. I think Perks actually has been solid. I truly think Perks this split has been solid. He's definitely played a lot better this split than he did on the previous summer split he played on Cloud9. Alfari has looked pretty solid overall still for his laning phase, but it comes to the thing with Alfari where like if he gets his laning phase is good, gets the lead, and then just does nothing with it. And like I will dominate, and Thorn were basically saying shit like, well, yeah, he's changed. He's not that kind of player anymore. I literally just saw him today get a lane lead and do nothing with it. I literally just saw it today. Today, we literally just saw that. Are we watching the same shit here? I swear, people are watching the same thing. People are watching different shit from each other, you know? And Selfmade hasn't been as good, you know? Like, it's this, they have a lot of team play issues, a lot of macro decision problems. it's the thing with perks teams where it's like, okay, let's
Yeah.
coast through and we get to the playoffs, we'll improve. What if you don't make the playoffs?
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck? You can't
Yeah,
just do
because
that essentially.
there's a chance Mad and
Team Vitality don't
SK
make playoffs.
SK could make it, because XL and Vitality only have 8 wins right now.
Mm-hmm.
SK will need to beat, like, I believe Vitality or XL, but I mean, then I believe SK's schedule is more tougher in these last 2 games, but I mean, Mad
Yeah.
Lions is Astralis and Team BDS. So if one of these two don't win both of their next games, then
Oof. It's looking rough for Team
yeah.
Vitality. Imagine the quote unquote super team that Team Vitality put together just fucking failing and shit. That is crazy.
Yeah.
That is fucking crazy. And the last thing to talk about before we actually go to NA is just Mad Lions. Mad Lions have looked bad, like really bad. Today they had a little bit better of a game against Team Vitality, but Team Vitality is like the same strength as them. So I'm like, okay, this is cool. This is okay. Reeker sucks. Fucking Unforgiven is good. Unforgiven actually has gone so underrated this split. He's done good. Unforgiven has been good. I will say that. Kaiser has not looked that good. Aloye.
I disagree. I think Kaiser's still been great. I just think
Really?
under the circumstances, the support, I mean, doesn't look as good under his circumstances, but I think he's
What do you
still
think about
been
Armud?
great. Armut, again, just very good. Nothing special though.
It just feels like what made Mad Lions good before has not made them good now. Like it feels like they needed to have those combination of players together to make it work when they did.
It was a huge mistake losing Humanoid, but
Very big.
again,
Yeah.
I didn't think Reeker was gonna be great. I just thought he would be good at least.
Mm-hmm.
With like
He's just
fucking
such a
Fnatic
huge
was
detriment.
like Fnatic and G2 and other teams were really like thinking of picking Reeker up. Like,
Thank God they didn't.
God, I'm
Holy
just
shit.
God, like he did look good today, but whatever. It's one game, and he was still getting outlaned hard. But anyway,
So, like, this is the thing. If Mad
honestly,
Lions
he's
or
one
Team
player
Fight,
I can see them replacing after this split just right away.
so to me personally, I don't really know how the playoffs will look for EU right now. Personally, we have to see how this Super Week plays out.
I still
Essentially,
think Vitality and XL will make it, but they could. There's a chance they could not. Like how it's
so
looking.
here's how it was today, guys. If Rogue had beaten SK Gaming, XL automatically get in. Rogue, as in typical Rogue fashion, don't win. And then XL even lost to G2 today. So, yeah, hopefully XL can make playoffs. The last thing I'll say, it's not about EU in general, but it's just more like people keep saying that, oh, Rogue are chokers. Now, look at it this way. How did Rogue amass all these wins from the past 3 splits, mostly? It was mostly through online gameplay because of the situation where they couldn't play on stage. Rogue seemed to be better in an online environment over the stage. Because remember, how did Rogue lose all their big games last year? They lost them on stage. It seems like on stage, they're not as crisp or as confident in their gameplay as in if they're like not at home, which would make sense. You're in a different element, you're on the stage, even without a crowd. You can tell that Rogue just aren't as insane as they are if they're playing from a remote system, right? That's just how I personally see it. Because all the big moments last year, where did Rogue lose? On stage. But if they're online, they amass all these wins. They look like one of the best teams in EU. So that's just how I personally see it. I think they have to get used to doing what they're doing in the remote system, obviously, from that position to the stage. If they can transfer what they do online to the stage, they'll still be really good. It just feels like when they go on stage, they just don't know what the fuck they're doing. All the time. It's consistently. I don't know what's going on with their team when this happens. But that's just me when it comes to EU. Did we predict the games from last week's episode? Yeah, we did. We already predicted games from last week's episode.
Yeah.
So,
but anyway, for LCS, there's
LCS
some news
now,
with
baby.
Another roster swap, takeover starting.
Let me bring up the article.
Academy now, and
TSM and all their
and
issues.
Shenny is going back up. Eurosan hasn't been sent down yet, but yeah, Shenny's playing again this week for week 5.
So if you guys are joining right now, LCS shit, let's do it. God, TSM.
Takeover was great last year in Academy. That's why he replaced their other highly touted
Mhm,
prospect Sword, who's now role swapped to support and playing on 100 Thieves next, who's just destroying
mhm.
the amateur and Academy circuit right now. Because this year though, and in Lock, and he was disappointed honestly, but he's still been solid, I guess, in Academy, especially when their team sucks this much. But yet now he's going to play in Week 5 over Kiadu.
Mhm.
Also, I know his name isn't actually pronounced like Kiadu or whatever. I'm just calling it that because his name reminds me of just that cliche anime name where a character just yells Kiadu. So I'm just calling it that.
Also, before we talk about TSM more fully, Lena put out statements about TSM too that I have
Yeah,
to bring up right now because, oh my god, it's been just a shit show for fucking TSM.
it's been amazing.
Lena's
This is so entertaining.
tweets. Dude, this is fucking crazy. Lena's tweets about TSM. Where's those images of what she put out?
Yeah.
Um,
Again,
Give
I
me
think
a
just
second.
again the Shani and Academy did not work out well at all. He was still playing the same dying a lot. Again, this is just a team chemistry thing and just more time in LCS. I don't understand what they were thinking about putting him in Academy. Just leave him in LCS. That's the best way to try to make him adjust and grow.
I don't understand what TSM's doing to split. It just blows my mind. Now,
Hmm.
to be fair, a lot of what was created was with other people, and then those other people left. And then come to find out, this is basically what Lena had said in a Twitch chat thing. They wanted to re-sign Soren. That's Bjergsen's real name is Soren Bjergsen. Doublelift and Vulcan. They want to have those three as a core to build around, and then have like those are your main three. Bjergsen. They want to re-sign Bjergsen, Doublelift, and Vulcan bot lane. Obviously, you pair the best NA ADC with the best NA support. That way, you could use your import slots on jungle and top to have a really strong team. That's the thought process I would assume they're going with, right? But then they didn't go with that route because they assumed that the money you're going to put into that wouldn't be worth it just to be top 4 in NA just for a year. But then Reginald comes out on a statement on Reddit where he basically says they paid the exact same for the prospects they have now, which is Shenny and Kiedo, right? So going, wait. And then there's another element of narrative to this, which is the fact that TSM kind of led people to believe that there were just issues between Spica and Shani. But then later on, when they come out with this statement, it's like, no, Shani was just being an asshole to a certain extent. It's like, why not just say that? Why were they being so secretive about something that wasn't even that big of a deal? What is going on? You know, I get that they're trying to be a bit better with the new guy they put into their social media to be a whole lot more communicative with the public, right? About the media, because TSM's relationship with the media has been pretty fucking bad. Let's be honest here. But all of this TSM drama has been holy shit. Fuck me. Fuck my ass. And then before we go even further into it, to really dive into something how these decisions are so stupid, why are they bringing over Shani and Kiedo and benching them? The point of a development roster like CLG, who legitimately has a developmental roster, you just go through the rough times, you know? You just go through your rough times, you know? I just don't get it, you know? Like, I just don't get it, honestly. So Lena put out basically that, her value, what she wanted just wasn't the same as what TSM wanted, so she eventually left. And then we had Beerson, Lena, Parth all leaving, like the people you associate with TSM. And then, like, people gotta realize at a certain point, this was gonna happen to TSM. Like, Bjergsen was really holding them up for a while. And then you had Doublelift that came in. But once Doublelift left, you start to see the cracks in TSM right when they signed Sven and Mithy back in like 2018. They started having all these issues. And then in 2019, as well as in 2018, they don't make worlds. 2020 they make worlds barely, essentially. Like the fucking like a lot of those game fives they won back in the LCS 2020 summer split playoffs, right? That was some whack games. TL threw that series. FlyQuest came back in the series, threw extremely hard. Golden Guardians also threw. A lot of those big Game 5 wins that they got were either because the other team with the lead threw,
Oh, you
or they
mean the
just,
split where they won?
the last one they won.
No, the split they won. Okay, number one, that title in my eyes is debunked. So shut up about it because, all right, that double lift transaction should have been revoked by Riot. Conflict of interest that was then proven and then happened. So that shouldn't have counted, which means they shouldn't have had that exact roster that won the split, which means just fuck off with that split one and I'm going to Worlds. I'm so tired of it. Just that the whole split doesn't count now. Number two, yes, that is true. They literally just won because all the other teams choked. Nothing else. Team Liquid choked, Golden Guardians choked, Cloud9 choked, and FlyQuest choked. They were dog shit. And then they went 0-6, which made it completely useless and worthless in the end anyway. Because Worlds is the only thing that actually matters, really.
And dude, that's the thing, is like all of these TSM decisions are just fucking, what are they doing? You know, you want to all in on something because one other thing doesn't work. I get it, you know, about the whole money thing, because I'm not paying the players, so I can't say what they're willing to spend their own money on. I get it. But if you want to have this route of Shenny, Kiado, Huni, Tactical, and Spica, sure, go with that. I don't care. Like, I like seeing new players like them in the league. It makes things exciting, you know? I think it's good. But if you're going to all in on these players, then all in on them. Yes, if a person is being an asshole, sure, you got to punish them. I'm all for that. That's fine. But it's like, why be so secretive about it? Just be like, we're benching Shenny for a couple of weeks to at least give the fans to, you know, let them know he's coming back and we're going to promote Yurson for a bit. Now, I personally think they really only benched Shenny because they were losing a lot. Or there's a system that they wanted to run with that eventually the players weren't super on board with.
Listen, it's a reaction thing, or I don't care what anybody says. They could have worked out any issues. All right, that some guy brought up, oh, he like rage locked in something in practice. Oh, blah blah. It's like, again, number one, I don't blame him. You know, dealing with TSM and this dog shit team. Yeah, I would too. But number two, that could be worked out. All right, like shut the fuck up. Anyway, like what was this Travis fucking this TSM fucking deep throater? He literally just deep throats TSM 24/7.
Matthew says, "Yo, what's up? I just got home. What did I miss? You missed nothing. We just started essentially."
Shetty YOLO locked the champ on stage and then was rude to the coaches when they confronted him about. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, shut up. Hopefully, he's chilled out the TSM fans. Finally, was a huge victim in this situation. Okay,
Sean, tell me how you really feel. Tell me how you really
number
feel.
one, nobody said he was a fucking victim in it. You're talking about the lack of like, just fucking, oh my god, the lack of info was what everybody was saying, and how this could have been worked out.
A TSM roster of Huni, Spica, Jensen, double of Tactical, Vulcan would have been solid. Yeah, well, to be fair, I don't think they would have gotten Tactical if they had gotten double lift. That wouldn't make any sense, but I fully see your point. That would have been a pretty solid roster overall.
When somebody puts the slash, it just means one or the other.
Yeah. It's like, it is like they use their import slot to use an import slot. Well, so far. Yeah, like, yes, they could have used them on other players, but I don't mind getting underrated players and building them up, though. I don't mind that at all.
No,
I don't mind that at all.
That's
a good idea.
When you do it right, you know, like
when you do it right, it pays off great.
That's what NA teams should have been doing for a while, getting those players and then building up before they become stars in Korea, and then you pay a bunch of money to them when they're like 25.
Like, no. Oh, I want to make sure I say this too before we go further into TSM in the article that they did with the upcomer. A lot of people have said, "Oh my god, I want to be so into NA players and shit." I'm about to roast the fuck out of these people right now. So, Bjergsen, I have many examples. So if people are going, "Oh, you're better," shut the fuck up. I have many examples. Don't even worry about that.
Yeah.
Someday, who has played in the LCS since he was on Dignitas back in the LCS 2017 spring split when he first started, has been one of the most beloved players. He's not American. So you guys know that, right? So let's keep this thing going. Jensen, also not born here, was one of the most popular players. Jensen and Bjergsen was our Peyton Manning fucking who's the guy? Tom Brady, Peyton Manning rivalry.
They basically built up Jensen themselves. It wasn't actually like importing a star. They kind of just did it themselves, and then when he was banned before. So that's what they should have done more often instead of just getting, stars, paying them a bunch of money.
Then we had Jensen and Bjergsen, not NA players. Jensen and Bjergsen, all those hyped up matches when Jensen would do so well against Bjergsen, but Bjergsen would win. And be like, yeah, Bjergsen's better. Now, that's the point I'm trying to say. I just got to read that in there. But you guys see my point. Our Tom Brady and our Peyton Manning right there. 1A, 1B player. You can take Bjergsen or Jensen, either or. They're both good players, right? Not NA.
One on dynasty teams who, does well with worthless NA titles, but then does nothing internationally. And then one, the actual best quarterback, Peyton Manning, right?
Then you have, someday, Bjergsen, Jensen. Closer, a player that a lot of people like, not from North America. Broken Blade. So this is the point I'm bringing up, is a lot of people say they want to have NA talent come up. You guys don't, not saying you guys in the chat, you guys are rational thinking people, I'd imagine. Most people don't give a shit about fucking NA players. Let's just be honest here. If we have cool, good NA players come up, they get their due diligence. Blabber, Danny, Spica, the list goes on and on, right? Sneaky, Double Lift, Meteos, players like that. If the NA players are good, I'll give them credit where credit is due. But a lot of the fans say they want these NA players. They're fucking bullshitting you. They're fucking bullshitting. The Cloud9 roster they just put together has Fudge, not American. He's Australian. Blabber is the only American on the roster. Winsome was born here, but he lived most of his life in Korea, so that's a half and half thing. I don't know how you can kind of justify that, but he's mostly lived his life in Korea. Summit, a player who's quickly becoming like one of the most popular NA players. Summit is not from America. I remember that all-American roster that Dignitas had last year. Nobody cared about them. A lot of these fucking pussy, stupid fans, these retards, are like, yeah, we want NA players. Yeah. They don't support the NA players. No one cares about these NA players on these other teams.
But I do, and I support them, and I want them, growing. And
I'm saying the majority of fans, they say they do that, but they don't.
I know, because I see the views on the academy stuff.
Was one of the best ADCs in the league. People care about that guy. He's not American. And that's the thing. Most of the imports are the best players in the league. Jensen was one of the best players in the league. Bjergsen, Double Lift, fucking Closer, Someday. Summit is literally the best player in the league. Most likely the MVP of the whole fucking LCS 2022 spring split. Buipo, a lot of you guys like Buipo. He's not American. A lot of you guys like Core JJ. He's not American. A lot of you guys like Hansama, also not American. Just saying here. Like a lot of people like Jose Diodo, not American. All these like really, really popular players are not American. So when people say, yeah, just play NA players, why would you want to play an NA player just to play an NA player? You can get a fucking another import player who's 10 times better. You shouldn't just want to just have a native talent just to have one. That's so stupid. Why would you do that? That is absolutely dumb. That is factually makes no sense. Why would you take a worse player just because he's domestic, a native person, because fans claim they can relate to him, where you could just get an import player who's 10 times better mechanically, better decision-making, a better player overall, and your roster look better? Because someone would say, "Oh yeah, because it's an NA player, and I can feel behind, I can get behind him." People got behind the Cloud9 roster. Cloud9 roster is full of Koreans.
I really do not care where a player's from. If you play good, you play good. Whatever.
Yeah, like that's my sentiment. If you play good, you play good. I don't give a fuck if you're American. Who gives
Vulcan
a shit?
Vulcan could play in the EU League. Blabber could honestly, a team could think, okay, yeah, he has all the mechanical talent. We can fix his game IQ.
Thank you, Michael. Most NA players we have, there's a reason, guys. I'll tell you this right now. There's a reason why the rosters. So let's say if we have a roster of players that go to Worlds, right? And let's say that roster goes to Worlds and they have NA players. Who are the first players to get rid of? The NA players, because they're not good. I'm sorry, guys. The NA players just aren't as good. They're the weak links you cut. There's obvious cases where that's different. I understand that. There's cases where you don't do it because they're just as good as some of the Asian players. That's fine. That's not always the case, though. All these people that get behind some of these players, they're not American. The top tier teams, Team Liquid, Cloud9, 100 Thieves, you can say EG right now is in there. All those players, all those players on those rosters are not American. I'm sorry. Bjergsen is an American quote unquote buy a green card, but he's not actually American. Like, what are we doing here, essentially? Like, I don't get it. Sorry if there's black people outside.
Nice.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that's my thing. I know Sean. Like,
Uh,
it's worse in EU. It's way worse in EU with these people. When Malrong was the best jungler, everyone said no. His pathing sucks. He's not really as good.
yeah,
Man,
that
if
they
he was a
had all the
fucking EU
time with
jungler,
Korean imports in EU. So you
and
want
that's
to
the
know
thing.
how many EU
Mhm.
players there probably are who are like part or full like Turkish? They probably don't realize that, huh?
The best NA players we have, yes, like the most famous NA players we have here are not from here. Everyone goes like, no, I want NA players. NA players are fucking not good. I'm sorry. There's a reason why they get replaced. There's a reason why you don't want to always bank on NA players. The GMs say having NA support, like it's rare to find a good NA support, rare to find a good X person. But there's a ton of import top laners you could probably get that'll do the job just as well, if not better in most cases. There's a reason why you there's a reason why you see Team Liquid opting into having like a superstar roster of imports if they can really get it down. There's a reason for that. Because why would you settle for a shitty NA player when I could just buy an import and just have a good player then? There's a reason why they cut tactical. There's a reason why, because he wasn't as good. There's a reason why they got Hansama.
Mm-hmm.
It's just these are things that people say they want, but in reality, they don't want that shit. You just want to. It's just people that want to be behind an NA player for no reason because of just nationality, which is so stupid.
Yeah, well, I'd rather have them over like the low imports they sign. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's what they mostly mean. Like, I'd rather have Insanity playing over fucking Blue. I'll say that. Stuff like that.
All right, guys. So let's go over this massive TSM article they put out with Upcomer. Here we go. TSM FTX tweeted, "We're making changes to our league rosters this week. Shenyi will return to the LCS team, while Kyoto will be moved to Academy." Chawei and Glenn sat down with Azure is here to give more details on the changes. All right, so let's click this. Let's read this great TSM PR they're giving us. All right, TSM Shenyi will return to LCS for Week 5, take over to start over Kyoto. Head coach Chawei addresses fans for turbulent start to season. And this is the thing I want to bring up before I cover the article, is people go like, oh, okay, spring doesn't matter, so them doing this doesn't really mean anything. If TSM were fourth place right now, your tune. I love how people's fucking tunes be changing and shit right when you're fucking losing. Spring doesn't matter when we're losing, but spring matters when we're winning. Bullshit. Bullshit. If you were fucking winning right now, your entire tune be different. But hey, it is what it is. So here's how it starts. Fans initially met TSM's outline for the League of Legends Championship. Sorry, I need to get a drink. Mm. Fans initially met TSM's outline for the League of Legends Championship Series 2022 season with hopeful skepticism, especially concerning the decision to sign mechanically skilled rookies. Shenyi Kyoto, now with a 1-8 record after the first round robin, the team is undoubtedly undergoing its worst ever season in the league. On February 16th, after a 0-4 start to the spring split, TSM announced Shenyi would spend time in Academy while he continued to adjust to North America at a more comfortable pace, while TSM Academy support Yurson would be promoted to the main team. TSM Vice President of Esports Dominic Callis further elaborated on Shenyi's benching in the TSM Discord. Shenyi needs more time to adjust to NA and improve within the TSM environment, Kala said. We feel that him working with the academy team will help him adjust and settle. This will smooth out some chemistry issues, taking off some pressure from the current communication structure. However, with 9 more games left to play in the split, TSM head coach Chawei said Shenyi will return to play on stage with the LCS squad again this weekend against FlyQuest and Golden Guardians. The team has a lot of issues that we're facing, but we're trying to take things one step at a time, said Chawei. Since he's been in academy, I think Shenyi has made several improvements in addition to communication. We believe he's ready to come back to the main roster. According to Chawe, during week 2, Shenny locked in a champion on stage without communicating with the team or coaches. TSM coaching staff followed up with Shenny to further discuss the matter, but his attitude was deemed negative and disrespectful. Chowie further disclosed that the team has been working with Shenny to help improve as a teammate and get back to the LCS team as soon as possible. The initial plan was for him to return to the LCS within 2 weeks. Okay, then why not just say that then? That way you just clear all that up. You know, why not just say that? Why not just fucking say that in general? I get what they were doing. It's fine. You talk to the player and let them know what's going on. That's fine. That's what you do in every sport anyway. You talk to the guy giving you issues. That is 100% fine. But why not just say he'll come back when he just say he's gonna come back and there's nothing to worry about. Because like a lot of the TSM fans were going like, free Shenny, all this sort of shit, right? Well, if you're gonna bring him back, just say you're gonna bring him back. Like, why not fucking do that? Like, why be secretive for no reason whatsoever? Just me personally. TSM Assistant General Manager Glenn added that Shenny's return to LCS was requested. Okay, wait, did I miss something? Oh, I see. Sorry. I missed that. Sorry. So Chawe gave a reason about Shenny actually. This is the main reason why he was benched, not because of his play, said Shawi. It was more of his attitude and respect toward the team and criticism we give him. I think this 2 weeks, he has really shown a lot of improvement. And that's the thing I want to go over too is like all of these things in practice sound good, but on stage, a lot of this stuff just starts coming undone because what happens a lot is people go like, yeah, we fixed all these things and we did this and that and this and that. But what really happens on stage is all that shit changes once you get on stage. Like he could have improved at a lot of this stuff, but on stage, when the pressure's on, when they've lost a lot of games, is this really gonna play out? We can only see what happens this week. TSM Assistant General Manager Glenn added that Shenyi's return to LCS was requested by players, and in addition to this change, Kiedo will temporarily move to the Academy team with TSM Academy mid laner takeover playing in LCS effective immediately. That's the thing is it seems like the players were not on board with the decision to bench Shenny and bring in Yurson because when TSM played their Academy team in the LCS 2022 lock-in tournament, right? They look like shit. They're in last place right now. Like, just because they're last place doesn't mean Yurson's bad, but Yurson wasn't that much of an improvement over Shenny at all. He was actually a downgrade. So they brought up a quote-unquote worse player for no reason just to lose more games. I don't know. Sean, you want to say anything before we go further into this, man? You want to say anything?
This is a clown fiesta, and this sounds like the exact same thing they said about the shiny thing. Just like more patience, you just smurf it out. Isn't that what you said like 2 weeks ago about your support? Now you're saying it about your mid laner. I watched the Academy games. He didn't improve shit. He probably just apologized for like throwing a plate at Chowie or some shit after locking in a champ. Who knows? I don't know. This is a clown fiesta disaster. Can't wait for him to get last place. I'm excited to see Takeover get a couple games. I'm excited to see Yurson out of LCS. He was fucking trash. I don't care what the KDA says. That doesn't matter for support. He was trash. He was so bad. He did nothing. Like he did.
Someone said, "What about when they beat 100 Thieves bot lane?" No. That was tactical beating them. That was tactical doing that. You're trying to do shit. That was tactical beating them.
Listen, he didn't int. All right, sure, but he didn't do anything. He literally just stood. He
stood there as tactical beat FBI and who he by himself.
It's like Destiny.
Oh no, we're not. Sean just got, as you guys know, Sean got blocked by the Immortal support Destiny because he's being an asshole.
No, more said about this. He's trash. He does nothing. He literally does nothing besides let his team do the work, and then he gets assists and doesn't die, runs away, makes sure his KDA is all right. That's Destiny for you, just fucking trash.
All right, the next part is, in addition to Shenyi coming back to the team In addition to Shenyi coming back to the TSM LCS roster this week, Kiedo will be temporarily moved to LCS Academy and Takeover would be moving to the LCS main roster, Glenn said. This change was made as the team feels that Kyoto needs more time to train in a less stressful environment. We are aware it is not ideal to be making this many roster changes mid-season, but in our current position, it's critical that Kyoto be given time to work on several key development areas as we try to end the season on a high note. Then this is not a development roster. This is like some fucking hole in your wall that you fucking tape over so you don't have to fucking pay the fucking guy to come and fix it. This is what this is. That's literally what the roster is. Like, what the? It even seems like the TSM players themselves were not on board with this. Like, what the hell is going on, man? Like, I don't know. Holy shit, man. Oh, fuck my ass, dude. Fuck my ass completely. All right. Addressing the fans.
It's just a clown fiesta.
The TSM fan base and LCS community at large have levied criticism against the org in recent weeks over lack of further communication on their LCS team's situation. Chowei said the team has been trying to have plenty of discussions with upper management to understand the plan going forward. Currently, we're also just trying to take things one step at a time, hoping to just win some games, Chowei said. But at the same time, we also look forward to the summer split because right now, I think we are way too behind to try and catch up. You think? Yeah, TSM's not running with this roster next year. Doubt it. They might make changes in summer. TSM, because they have this pedigree of winning an LCS, it doesn't even feel like they're like fucking invested into this fucking developmental roster. It's like, dude, like what the fuck? Why do I don't? Oh my brain's gonna fry it. My brain's frying with these fucking. Oh my goodness. When asked about the team's continued commitment to the current starting lineup, Chowei said he hopes to continue working with the current starting five. The team was formed differently from how we expected it to be, said Chowei. So we're trying to figure out how we can work around this team and what's the best for this team, and then see what's TSN's plan for the future. At the same time, Chowei stressed the importance of looking out for his players despite the public's desire for information. I think some things behind the scenes are just very hard for us to put in public because it might destroy some players' future, Chowei said. We're trying to protect our players, to protect our people, and we just hope to do whatever is best for the team. Chowei, who retired as a player in 2018 after playing professionally since 2012, said his goal as a coach has always been to qualify for the World Championship with his team and play on the international stage. He wants to be a coach that's able to set his players up for success in and out of game. Back then, there wasn't good coaches, Chowei said. I always wanted to be the one for the young players to help them get good results, get good contracts, try to give them a good future. So that's always my aim, to help the players improve and then get the best results. For the best shot at playoff qualification, TSM must win all of their remaining games in the LCS regular season. That's a difficult road to travel for any team. But Chowei expressed his apologies to fans about how the season unfolded and wants them to know TSM aren't ready to give up. We are extremely sorry to the fans because this result is the worst TSM has gotten. I think we all feel very sad about it, said Chowei. We promise to be looking forward and not backward. Our plan is to make sure to get everything ready and prepared to find the best team possible for us, the best play style, everything by summer split. And then our hopes is to still get to playoffs and hopefully worlds. Hopefully everyone can still be patient, and we're sorry that this had happened. We are still trying to do we are still really trying our best. The coaching staff, the players, we're all really doing the best. This weekend, TSM will play FlyQuest on Saturday at approximately 5:30 p.m. ET and Golden Guardians on Sunday at approximately 7:30 p.m. ET. Okay. After all this, TSM are trying to do better. right? That's what we get. TSM are trying to do better. They bring in these LDL prospects for a developmental roster, and then they just start benching them. The
Yeah,
players are
this
not
is
on board
just
with what the
dumb.
management. The players are not on board with what the management want. The management
Mhm.
don't know what the players want. So it's this clusterfuck of like, I don't know what you want. You
Yeah,
don't know
this
what
is
I
just a
want.
clown fiesta.
Like, oh my
What
god.
I want is for TSM to just TSM to just fucking what's the word for it again when a team
I just don't
yeah,
get it,
sorry, that's the
honestly.
word, disband. I want TSM to
Oh
disband.
Lord. And then like they say they want to have success, but then you have a player like Hooney on your roster. It's like, what does that even mean? You know? Hooney's been running it down pretty hard all split. You can't really blame Speaker because if you have like 5 losing lanes, doesn't really matter because you can't do anything as a jungler. Junglers look better if you have winning lanes or worse if you have winning lanes. It just depends on the team you have, you know? Like Cloud9, they all in on this Korean roster with LS. They got rid of LS, obviously, but they still have the main components of the roster and the coaching staff too. So, like, TSM try to do this like LDL fucking experiment, like Cloud9 did their LCK experiment with the Korean players. This is the worst part of it. This is like the worst looking case scenario of this, essentially, right? Like, TSM just looked really awful. Yeah, they would have to win all their games to fucking make playoffs. I don't see it happening. And then you bring in another new guy mid lane, mid season to try and shake things up. Dude,
Yeah.
what if they're like Cloud9 from the 2018 LCS Summer Split where they just win all of their fucking games? What?
Yeah.
I just don't.
Okay, I'll be honest right now. So my PC right now is kind of lagging since I'm doing this co-stream stuff. So I might leave like sometime during this. If so, would that be okay if you just like review some of the LCS games yourself?
Yeah, we're gonna be done in like 10 minutes anyway. Actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Let's just go
we'll
over
be
the
done in 10 and
games.
15 minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So that's it on TSM. Talk about a few of the NA teams. All right. What do you think about Cloud9 going 3-0? Just your quick initial thoughts. Are they the best team in the LCS? Like a lot of people have been saying? Because I don't know. Like Cloud9 had their best week so far. They looked really good. Summit looks like the best top laner in the LCS. Like he looks like the best top laner, one of the best players in the LCS. Like Cloud9 looked really good in the early game against 100 Thieves. Dignitas, they beat them. Let's bring up Leaguepedia for a moment. They beat Dignitas and 100 Thieves. Who's the last team they beat, actually? Who's the last team they beat? Give me a second, guys. Now, let me show you. Give me a second. Bring it up. Right here. Cloud9. Let me send hide. Cloud9 defeated. That is super weak. Yeah, Cloud9 beat it. Dig, 100 Thieves, and they defeated FlyQuest. Yeah, FlyQuest, who did really, really well initially, is starting to fall off a bit. They went like, I think 0-3 this week. Yeah, FlyQuest lost every single game this week. So to kind of like run down how I feel about some of these teams, just the top ones, Cloud9 had a 3-0 week. They looked pretty solid in a lot of their games. This is the best that Cloud9 has looked so far during the LCS 2022 Spring Split. They looked pretty good. Team Liquid, they ended up losing to Golden Guardians, but they ended up smashing Dignitas and smashing TSM. Golden Guardians early game has looked pretty solid so far. I think Golden Guardians have a great early game. Their record does not show how good of their early games actually are. 100 Thieves are not playing good.
GG, I think, is guaranteed for playoffs at this point. They've looked great.
What do you think about 100 Thieves? Because 100 Thieves, dude, they look off.
Yeah,
Let me bring that game
off.
up.
I mean,
Let me bring that game
I
up.
actually
Oh
agree
my
with, like,
god.
what somebody said before. I think it's more of like other teams growing instead of 100 Thieves falling off, because they've always had these issues. But yeah, I think they'll still make playoffs. I think they'll still be top 4. But yeah, there's issues with them. I think they're better than FlyQuest. Honestly, GG might beat them though.
That's the thing is like Cloud9's biggest competition is going to be Team Liquid, and like we have to see them have a rematch again because that first game around was really close. TL took it out by a nail biter. There's 2 games I want to bring up. that Dignitas 100 Thieves game, oh my fucking god, that looks so shit. Oh my lord.
Yeah.
That was donkey shit. And then the best game of the season, TSM versus CLG, we'll bring that up, right? So bad. All right, so 100 Thieves have not looked good. They're struggling pretty bad this split. They are just not looking good. You know, they're just not looking good overall for 100 Thieves. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, Someday looks good. I'll say that. Someday has looked really good. Someday is their
I
best
still want to
player.
see Tenacity play against a weak team. Just put him in for like a couple games just to see how he is.
Someday's looked great. Someday and Closer actually look good. I'll say that. Someday and
I
Closer
know
are
it's
fine.
Abadage and Huhi are the biggest issues.
Even FBI's not had the best of the
Huhi
split
has
either.
missed so many ults.
Like, who he's looked really suspect. Fucking FBI, like he lost to Tactical. Like FBI lost to fucking Tactical. Like that was horrible. Like how the fuck is TSM's bot lane beating 100 Thieves' bot lane? Because initially I thought it was fucking 100 Thieves just playing down to their competition. No, they just look like ass. I want to show you guys this game. Abadage's brain was either smoking like German crack or his brain just was completely fried. Look at this game right here. So they're playing up against Dignitas. Blue is playing Victor. Abadage is playing Corky. Abadage was just like letting himself get auto attacked, and then he got solo killed. I was like going, what is going on here? Like, what the fuck is this? This just looks like shit. Like, Dignitas did a great job of drafting Tom Kench for the composition that 100 Thieves had. They did a good job of that. And I like that, obviously. That was good. But 100 Thieves has just messed up at every single place. Like, I get it. The Tom Kench kind of puts a nail in the coffin.
And there is a certain clip I want you to play.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had this. Fucking... I don't know if it's this game, but I just want you to play this on stream. I can't screen share right now because my PC's lagging, but I sent it in private chat. Just play this at some point because I was laughing my ass off.
So you have the game starting. Someday he gets first blood against Fake God. Fake God's like the worst top laner in the LCS. I'm pretty sure everyone can agree on that. Like, he's definitely the worst top laner by far. Look at this shit. Look at this. He's just getting auto attack chunked out, and he just killed him. I was like, once I saw that, I was like, fuck this shit. This is bad. Like, if this is not slumping for 100 Thieves, I don't know what is. Like, Abadage has played pretty bad this whole split. Like, he's looked like, honestly, one of the worst mid laners. He's just so unimpactful. Like, but Fate God has looked like one of the worst top laners. So you're like, okay, we're going to get an equal trade. And then fucking that shit happens. Like, they pick Jace. Someday is ahead in CS, but the team doesn't really play around that lead effectively enough to really impact the game. Blue almost solos Abadage again. River almost kills him. And River's like, okay, free Corky. There you go. Get a free kill right there. Neo's looked pretty solid overall. I think he's had a pretty decent split, even though Dignitas has looked pretty shaky and hit or miss, actually. But this draft that Dignitas had, I think perfectly counteracted what 100 Thieves was actually trying to do. Because if you have a Tom Kench saving Jinx when she's actually dealing damage to Aphelios and Nautilus, it's just going to be something that obviously is not going to really do much because you get a Gadagel free card with the Devour. Huhi and FBI just don't seem to be playing the bot lane as good as they once were. To me, they were like the best bot lane last split, but they have not looked as good overall. Like, they're just laning bad. They're losing a lot of advantages. They're even taking unfavorable trades. Even like when they have Dragon and they're trying to take objectives, 100 Thieves is just like not zoning properly with the certain composition they have. They have a ward right there. They can see this guy coming, yet they engage, and then they still lose. It's like, what the hell, dude? Like, what happened to these guys? I don't even think it's like a lot of teams catching up to them. I think they're just legitimately playing bad. They're just legitimately playing donkey shit. That's what I think, because there's no way Dignitas are on the same level as these guys and somebody just beat the shit out of Fake God. Like, Fake God has looked bad. Like, why would FBI be right there next to Tom Kench, who, you know, obviously is a strong support champion that can essentially 1v1 an ADC if you're like, you know, on that type of level scale right there. You know, for me personally, 100 Thieves is just underperforming from the mid laner all the way to the support. That's how I personally think. Sean, you want to say anything about 100 Thieves underperforming? Like, do you really think it's other teams catching up, or you think they're just playing
I
bad?
predicted it, just them falling off. I said in lock-in, I predicted them here. Still think they're top 4, but yeah, I think it's more has to do with the league improving. They are struggling though. I think they're kind of hitting the same rock Cloud9 did in 2020. They just haven't been like trying to elevate their game and getting a little too cocky. They'll turn it around probably, but yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, be sure to
There's
play
hopefully.
that clip I sent you in private chat later.
Yeah. And then, so that's my thing with 100 Thieves right now is, like, I know there's a lot of 100 Thieves fans, and I like 100 Thieves. I think they're cool, you know, but in terms of fucking the LCS team they have, I don't know what you do with the 100 Thieves. Like, do you make a roster change? But then if you change a player on the roster, if you get a worse player just for a different playstyle change, that could inherently make your team worse. I don't know how the team makes changes. Like, they're getting, even just right there, why are you getting into a position to fight this and your team is going to lose this right here? Okay, so you see fucking, who's T-Ping? So Fake Out's T-Ping. FBI is like right here behind Closer. They're already getting collapsed on. It's like, why are you even in this position? Why are you trying to fight them in their jungle if you're the team behind? Essentially, like they weren't behind by the gold graph. They were behind by how strong their champions were. Then you give over 2 more kills to River. River has been a pretty solid jungler overall. I've really liked what he's been doing for Dignitas. Actually, I thought he's looked like one of the best junglers in the LCS when he's actually on form. I think he looks good. So for 100 Thieves, they're just like Rogue. You know, they're just like Rogue. If they don't really run over the early game, if some days, not on like a champion like Trinomir, then they just look really bad. You know, it's not Closer. It's not Someday. I'm not saying it's their fault because they're playing fine. It's just Abadage, FBI, and Huhi have all looked pretty suspect. Like, look how like Abadage is not even zoning properly, being that far behind. And they've been giving Abadage Ari, and I'm just not a huge fan of the Ari pick, guys. I'm just being honest here. I think Ari's not been as good a mid laner as everyone seems to be hyping it up to be. I think Ari's been a really lackluster mid laner, doesn't really offer anything except pick potential. And if you're not really ahead and moving around the map and getting those picks with her charm, then it's not really anything you can really do. Like, by Summer Split, if 100 Thieves doesn't do well, or maybe they really think that they can do well, I don't really understand what's going on with them. Maybe you might just need a player change. At this point in time, it might be good to, by Summer Split, make a player change. But we'll have to see how the rest of these weeks pan out for them. Maybe they might turn it around and look a whole lot more convincing, because a lot of their wins have not been convincing even when they have wins. It's like the wins that are convincing, it's because Someday gets Trinomir and he just stomps people. That's all it is, essentially. All right. Let's go over the Cloud9 game versus 100 Thieves, because obviously we're talking about Cloud9 here because we love Cloud9. So, Cloud9 ended up playing up against 100 Thieves, supposed to be a match of the week as we had it slated before. Summit doing very, very well against Someday. Summit's been like one of the best top laners in the LCS. Blabber actually having a pretty good super week on a lot of the games. Like, I thought the Cloud9 bot lane were playing decently, not that good initially, because they were like losing a lot of the 2v2s. They were actually losing a lot. But no, they end up actually doing very well in the bot lane. Like Summit, a player who has now come over and looked like one of the best top laners. I'd say he gets a little too cocky with stuff he's doing, like right there. Like he definitely is, I don't know, I wouldn't say it's limit testing, but he definitely has been playing a little too close to the edge in a lot of these games. I prefer if Fudge is on a champion like Rise, actually, compared to a champion like Aurelia mid, because I think he'll have more of an impact on mages compared to a champion
honestly,
like Aurelia.
Fudge has actually been like the second best mid laner, sadly, because the competition for mid laners this year is that weak. Seriously, think about it.
So
Jojo Pion, Abadage, Takuli.
Takuli actually has been fine. Takuli's been good. Solid. He's been solid overall.
Yeah, but Fudge has been better.
Oh, Lord. Fuck. Jeez. So when we do our when we do our LCS 2022 spring split all pro team, make sure that when we have our mid laners, we put asterisks behind this. Huge asterisks, like literally giant asterisks. Because like I do agree with Sean, the mid lane pool for LCS has looked really, really fucking off. The fact that we're talking about Takuya, Fudge being the best mid laners, Good God. Good God. And
Seriously,
I don't think Fudge has been that good. He's like, even Fudge
has not been very good, but he might actually be the best.
That's asterisk, guys.
Just
asterisk.
automatically, like, forfeit.
Oh my God. And that's what's sad. It's like Jensen is not in a league, man. That's so sad. But yes, Cloud9 did play very, very well this week. They looked really good against another top tier team in quotations, like 100 Thieves. Berserker and Winsome looks like they're finally coming into their bot lane, because it looked like from Winsome and Berserker before, it just really looked like, that they weren't really on the same page when it comes to like their bot lane play, or like how they want to play the laning phase. Summit looks like he's having a lot more of an impact. You can hear it in a lot of the Cloud9 content that's been happening. I really do feel as if Cloud9 is going to get even better and better and better as the weeks go by. But in playoffs, if they could actually win the spring split, I'm down for that. I don't care. Trophy's a trophy. I know spring doesn't really have too much that's to matter in the grand scheme of things, but hey, trophy's trophy. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. This is still only about, week 5 we're going to be heading into overall. So yeah, Cloud9 having a really, really good week, and they looked pretty solid overall. Winsome, I think he has some stuff to work on still, but the bot lane, really solid. They're coming into form. They just need a bit of time. Fudge, if he's on Rise and Victor and Corky, good. His laning phase is still pretty bad, but as long as he's not just outright 100% losing, I think it's good. Blabber, if he can play like he did during these past 3 games, I think he can still be a really big, impactful jungler into the Cloud9 team. And Summit obviously is like the best player potentially in the LCS moving forward if he can keep up this level of gameplay. Sean, you want to say anything else about Cloud9? Actually,
I mean, Winsome has been a huge surprise for me, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, he might actually be like the second or third best support. I mean, Core JJ would be the second best for me and Vulcan the first, but Core JJ hasn't like played at all. So Winsome might actually be the second best.
Depending on how Core JJ plays when he starts this week, that could all change. Depending.
Yeah, because again, who's better than Winsome besides Vulcan?
Core JJ and Vulcan. What Alea would count. Alea did play good. I'll say that Alea did play.
Alea, good. I would have 4 for 5th with Afromu or whatever.
But this is a true match of the week right here. TSM taking on Team Liquid. Bjergsen facing his old team. Bjergsen just like putting them into the dirt. Oh, good job, Bjergsen. Bjergsen felt good about putting this fucking donkey shit of an Oregon into the fucking dirt. Oh, good job, Bjergsen. I don't know why people still give this guy Zillion. It's like when you give Bjergsen Zillion, that's when you tell me you auto lose. In draft, you auto lose. Now, in this game, credit to fucking Tactical. He's not looked that bad. Tactical hasn't looked that bad overall. I think he's been the best TSM player this split, quote unquote, right? Unless you want to count Spica. But I don't think Spica's played that well this split. I think Tactical has not been as a big a detriment as a lot of people have made him out to be. Me personally. He's not been the best, but he's not been a detriment. In this game, I don't know what the fuck they're planning overall with what fuck the TSM. It looks like they want to be aggressive, but then they just completely don't know how to really do anything. Like they have
Seeker would be my 5th or 6th. I mean, his team obviously an issue why he's playing poorly right now, but it also has to do with him. Honestly, this has always been a thing in Academy and LCS with him, where the first split in spring, he's warming up. He's playing kind of below average.
Like, I'll even say this. Tactical and Gerson were looking pretty solid against a lot of the LCS bot lanes, and it just kind of sucks that you're just going to get rid of that for Shen-Yi. Like, I know they want to play Shen-Yi. He's obviously the better player. But they were winning some of the bot lane matchups with Tactical and Yerson. They were. I mean, they weren't, like, smashing them. They could say they were beating FBI and Huhi. That's something you could also say. But Team Liquid is just the better team right now. And then when teams give over Zillion, it's like, why are you giving Bjergsen Zillion? Why aren't you automatically banning it? He's going to pick Zillion if you don't ban it, if it makes sense in that competition. And it's NA, so anything can fly here. So it doesn't essentially fucking matter, It's like, holy shit, why does this keep happening? It seems like TSM's lane assignments all look bad. Essentially, I don't know. TSM just looks bad. Like, I did not think for a second Team Liquid would lose this game. Yeah, they had moments in this game where you're thinking like, okay, this is good from them. at no point I thought to myself, yeah, Team Liquid are automatically going to lose to fucking TSM. But the bot lane did play solid enough to get into the laning phase. Sean, what do you want to say about Team Liquid, actually? Oh, I forgot. He's doing the culture thing. So, yeah. Bjergsen has looked probably like the best mid laner. And it's only because the other field of competition has looked just so bad. Oh my god. It's just like so bad from a lot of these other players right now. Let me bring up any more games. Yeah, the FlyQuest game from Cloud9 also looked good too. Give me a moment, guys. Give me 1 second. We'll talk about the other games. EG versus CLG. EG also had a nice week too. EG were on a losing streak, and then they also, bounced back. That was also good to see from EG because they were looking really suspect in like a lot of their losses. But these wins can obviously give you an indication that they can be a good team for Evil Geniuses. Just depends on what they want to do for their team. Because if you're gonna invest a lot of your resources into Jojo Pion, then he has to be impacting the game with these resources, not fucking, I don't know, like just getting resources and not really doing anything with them is worse when you actually have been a player that has not been given anything in terms of actually quality laning phases. Like Jojo Pion has been like one of the worst mid laners in the LCS, but when his team funnels resources into him, looks a bit different. Danny and Vulcan seem to be playing a bit better right now, but there are some games where they lose in laning, but then they're better at roaming and team fighting. So, yep, time to go predict the games for the LCS coming up this week. And we will go through it. So right now, match of the week, baby. Let's go. Match of the fucking week. Let's do it. Let's go. Match of the week, baby. Let's go. Who's going to be the match of the week? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Also, yeah, did anyone really think that FlyQuest would stay at top of the league for a while? FlyQuest are literally only doing as well because the other teams.
I knew they would fall off.
Yeah,
but
guys, FlyQuest are only doing as well because the other teams with the much better players are just looking like
my match of the week is actually going to be GG versus C9.
Yeah,
and
I can
then
do that. Yeah,
I would say EG versus Immortals, and then for the third one, I would say.
I want to ask you this: what did you think about
Actually, that's it.
IMT bringing in Arrow. Actually,
I really like Arrow. I'm glad he's playing again. He dominated amateur.
Much
I would
bigger
play him
improvement
over
over
Wild Turtle. Wild Turtle
Yeah.
has more pop-off moments, but they're very few and far in between. I'd play Arrow. I also thought Mash was better than Wild Turtle, despite not having pop-off moments.
All right, guys. So for week 5, I'll go EG, FlyQuest, Team Liquid, Cloud9, Dignitas. Sunday, I have Team Liquid, 100 Thieves, Cloud9, FlyQuest, and Golden Guardians. All right, Sean, who do you have?
Okay, my predictions are EG, TSM, I'll go 100 Thieves, Cloud9, and CLG, and then Team Liquid, 100 Thieves, EG, FlyQuest, and GG.
All right, match of the week. I agree with Sean.
And play my clip.
Day. Oh, yeah. What is this clip? Oh my goodness. Sean's going to get me in trouble. Holy shit, I love it. Oh, this here. Okay, let me do this right now. I have to.
No, I just have to play because I was laughing my ass off.
You're fine. I have to show the audio between this, and it's gonna be a little. Just give me 1 second. All I need is 1 second. Give me 1 sec. Okay, so I have all these tabs open, guys. Give me a second. Okay, give me a sec. Okay, so let me put this over here. Stop screen. Share screen. Share audio. Okay, let me take off the fucking banner for a sec.
This was just hilarious. Also, next week we're gonna do ranking all the LEC players, and then at the end of the LCS split of regular season, we'll rank the LCS players in each role.
Next week, we'll have 2 separate episodes of the Cloud9 podcast because I want to talk about EU as a whole because they'll be finished, right? And then, because that's separate, I couldn't talk about EU as a whole in this as much as I can really delve into it. So next week, expect 2 Cloud9 episodes coming up, one for NA and one for EU. I usually always do that toward the beginning of a split and toward the end because, NA, EU are separate, but when we have the regular season games, we combine the two. But for the end, expect next week an episode talking about the LEC 2022 Spring Split as a whole, our MVP, and our All Pro team for spring. All EU for one episode, and for NA, the usual shit you just saw today. Because right now, I just haven't had enough time to really delve into EU as much, but it pans out perfectly because the split's over for EU when we have next week's episode. So I can just talk about all that stuff in full anyway. So what was this?
Just senses it. Triple knockup.
He just senses it. There's a ward.
To land. FBI is low and gets shut down.
Vision is a myth. He just
Frost
sensed it.
Can do no wrong. 3 kills to be claimed. Whatever you're paying him, it's not enough.
Fish senses or something to blind W.
Then what are we saying? What are we saying? Why are we saying? What do you mean the blind W? There's a ward right there, man.
This is NA casters the whole year.
Lose my mind. I'm actually going to lose my fucking mind right now. This is actually so crazy. I feel like I'm just like in my. What is going on, bro?
I have to clip this for my streams.
Oh, this guy's just
Bro,
again.
what is going
Subscribe
on?
to I Will Dominate. So entertaining.
I'm actually just gonna lose my mind.
Oh my god. Yeah, you guys just saw me. I pointed out too. There's a ward right there. Why were they even going for that? Like 100 Thieves is garbage, man. They're playing like such trash. All right. Match of the week. My match of the weeks. Let me go not create banner. Match of the week, baby. Let's go. Saturday. Team Liquid versus 100 Thieves. You have Golden Guardian versus C9. Those are the main games you guys want to check out right there. Those games right there. For Sunday, EG versus Cloud9 and FlyQuest versus Dignitas. I'll say that. That's not a bad one to check out either. Just saying.
Yeah.
Not a bad one to check out.
Honestly, I think CLG actually has somewhat of a chance against 100 Thieves if they play the way they
actually
did.
Do. Yeah, if they play like how they played against TSM 100 Thieves, you better be shaking right now because.
But yeah. I mean, again, next stream when we talk about EU more, we're gonna do a ranking all 50 players. All
I think I can rank all of them. That's a lot.
From
shit.
1 to 10, and then I did the same with like LCS players as of right now, but yeah.
Okay, guys, so that's pretty much it. So I want to let you guys know what's going on. The Cloud9 podcast will have 2 episodes next week. One talking about the regular NA stuff we have for this episode, and then one for EU. After that, when EU starts their playoffs, we'll have them combined again. But usually we do this toward the beginning and toward the end. We have them split to really talk about the spring split or whatever split we're on as a whole, rather than trying to combine that in one episode, But yeah, expect 2 episodes this week coming up. Wednesday, Thursday. It's the best time to do it. I think, EU takes a break for a week before they start playoffs anyway, so it's going to give us an ample amount of time anyway. Just want to let you guys know, most of the episodes are always going to be like Tuesdays and Wednesdays, but it's mostly Wednesdays for the episodes. I think we could probably now knock out on both on Wednesday, but expect a episode of the Cloud9 podcast on Wednesday and the next one most likely on Thursday, give or take, right? But overall, just want to say thank you guys for the constant support. We have Cloud9 podcast episodes every single week. It's a weekly show, whether it be an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, give or take, right? If you guys are watching right now, if you haven't subscribed to my main YouTube channel, you might want to. You'll see me more over there. But for League, there's always certain things I want to talk about, but sometimes when you have combined shows of EU and NA, it gets kind of jumbled a little bit. But yeah, overall, can't wait to watch the rest of the LEC Super Week that plays out. I mean, I hope that XL make playoffs. Actually, I hope they do, because they definitely have played better than Mad Lions in Team Vitality. At least you could say that XL have played better than Team Vitality and Mad Lions. Like, I wouldn't want Mad Lions making the playoffs. Like, a lot of these teams go like, yeah, we'll make playoffs. It kind of salvages our season. If you go out in the first round, does it really matter, honestly? Like, if you go out in the first round, does it really fucking matter? Let's be honest here. if Team Vitality make the playoffs, would they be even better than what they are playing right now? You know, like Jesus, you know, like I don't know, like it wouldn't make anything that difference. Like that big, like here's what I'm saying. It wouldn't make that big a difference if they made playoffs anyway. Like I know the Perks teams always kind of like ramp up in the playoff, or they ramp up as the season goes because they don't want to like burn themselves out. There's a good world where Team Vitality doesn't even make playoffs though. Oh, yeah. For the LEC episode, we'll have our LEC 2022 Spring Split All Pro team, 3 teams, MVP, and MIP. Those are what we're going to be doing. The LCS episode will be just same as this one, as we had right here. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys later. Like, comment, and subscribe. Most of all, enjoy. I'm the Nightwing. Way of Life Esports is signing out, guys. If you are watching this on the replay, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't. And I'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.
Yeah,
Peace
also,
out.
if you care
Deuces.
about comic books at all, Onzo's doing a stream of that, ranking comic book films, a tournament. I'm on it right now. It's lots of fun. You should go check it out in the chat. And any tiebreakers, you guys will get the vote on, so you should go check that out if you want. Bigger Forward Entertainment is the channel name. It'll be an
All right,
MSK
guys.
subscription, but yeah.
Peace out, guys. Have a great weekend, guys. See you next week for 2 episodes of the Cloud9 Podcast. 2 episodes next week. 2 bangers coming.